Good morning, everybody. So last night I had a blast. I was on Comics with Cold Ones with All About Comics and Pope Grimy. And man, that's a great show. If you've never caught them live, it's a blast, and being on there was just as much fun. So the idea was to drink a bunch of cold ones and to talk about comics. And I certainly drank a bunch of cold ones. Conversation veered all over the place, and I got through most of my comics. But I just wanted to kind of uh, do a more systematic haul, a more rational haul, a more reasoned haul. I don't know. I got a bunch of books that need to go away before the move in 2 weeks, and I wanted to just get through them all. So I kind of got them parsed out. Last night I had them separated into talking points, and now I've got them separated into where I got them from, so I can discuss the haul. So a lot of these, if you watched last night, you may not want to watch this video. I'll be perfectly honest with you, but that's up to you. So let's start off. I was on vacation last week in a place called Seabrook on the Washington coast. It's sort of like a made-up town. It exists only for vacation. Like there's like maybe 50 homes, and they're all rentals in this little like enclave carved out of nowhere on the Washington coast. It's kind of cool. It's a really nice place to go. Access to the beach. They've got a pool and stuff. It's near Aberdeen, where Kurt Cobain was born. Excuse me, I believe. At least they've got a shrine to him in Aberdeen. And so I was looking up comic book shops there, and I came across Tectonic Comics. Shout out to Tectonic Comics in Aberdeen. It's a nice little shop, kind of in the middle of nowhere. Looks like the lady just bought a shop and is still trying to sort through all her inventory. So she was looking up prices and comic price guide as I was pulling stuff out of unorganized short boxes and long boxes. Some stuff I got a deal on, some stuff I didn't, but let's just go through. I grabbed another one of these beauties, and it's in pretty minty condition. I don't think there's anything wrong there, no turned corners or anything. Got that at cover price, which I was pretty excited for because can't really find those at cover price anymore. And I just sent one of these to an Instagram follower of mine who's a big Kamala fan, so I'm glad to pick up another one. And I picked up another one of these because I'm an impulse buyer, and my impulse got the better of me. So I have yet another True Believers. Really excited that this shop had this because I missed this first time around, man. When I went to Free Comic Book Day, I met Zach, I cannot remember his name, the guy that does Wayward with Jim Zub, and G. Willow Wilson, and I was talking to them. I had my son with me, and we were looking at comics, and we went next door to get hamburgers, and I just didn't grab this. And I honestly think this is a comic to jump on. I've been reading all three issues so far, and I'll get to that in a second. This is the free one, Marvel Zero. Where is it? Zero over here, Marvel Zero. So I think it lays a good foundation. It's definitely a kids comic in as much as it's looks more like an animated artwork, but it's going to become an animated show. And if that show takes off, I think that it's a good thing to grab on, especially since they've got what's her name, Ember Quaid, Emulator. I think they start off calling her Ember, then they change to Emulator is the name she wants, and she looks like she's going to be a really good character. So anyway, I suggest you grab the free ones. And the third issue that I read last night was actually really good, and I'll tell you about that a little bit more when I come to it. I'm trying to grab this series. I know that I guess it's the last one where she's got the shirt. Ask me about my feminist agenda is the key one to get, but I'm seeing Chelsea Kane at Rose City Comic Con, and you'll notice a theme throughout these videos is that I like to get stuff signed, not for the monetary value. I like to meet creators and have them sign books. So I've got some number ones of this series, and I'm going to try to get the whole thing. So I read number 1 and number 2 so far. I liked it. I haven't read the whole thing yet. So this is an example of where the lady underpriced me. She looked up Howard the Duck number 1, and I'm like, that's the first appearance of Gwenpool. That's going for a little bit. And she's like, no, it only says it's, $4 or something. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to argue with her. On her computer, she was pointing to the 2016 series. If you remember, Marvel rebooted a lot of series in 2016. So, for example, Miss Marvel, Volume 3 went 1 through 19 and then started right over with issue 1 again. It wasn't really like it was canceled. They just did one of their silly reboots. So this one is the 2014 or 2015 one that only went like 9 issues before they canceled it. And this is the first appearance of Gwenpool in a comic. She appears on the cover of Deadpool's Secret Wars 2 TOO. But this is the first in-comic appearance, and I got that pretty cheap. Found this on the shelf at cover price, and I didn't have this one. It's the first appearance of Girl Moon. I've got the Omnipotentus and the Princess Fisk Moon Girls, and I've got the Hip Hop #1 and the regular #1. So I got a few keys in that I'm collecting. So here's an example of something that I overpaid for. This is a pretty clean copy. This is 100 Bullets #2. I do have this, but mine's a little dirty on the white here. So I saw these. I pulled them out of the long box, and this one was $5, #3, and #2 was #2 is $5, #3 is $4, and I could probably take my time and find them a little bit cheaper, but I felt bad. She'd done a lot of work prices stuff. I wanted to support a new comic book shop, and I got some other stuff cheaper than I should have. So no harm, no foul, right? Didn't pay like $1,000 extra, just a few bucks extra. Plus some blood shots that I'm going to show later. I overpaid a little bit too. So I don't usually do new comic book hauls, but I want to get the stuff out of the way. So I'm going to go quickly through the boring stuff and linger on some stuff that I really want to. I have not read this yet, but I'm super excited for Seven to Eternity to be back. If you have not read this before, this is a great jumping on point. Rick Remender took a little time off because he was doing the pilot and I guess the scripts maybe, or script supervisor for Deadly Class, which is coming to Sci-Fi this year. Super excited for that. But Seven to Eternity was an amazing comic. This was an amazing comic. I got to go see if I can get some variants of this #1. David Aja did the art on Fraction's Hawkeye, and I think Ed Brisson's, no, not Ed Brisson's Iron Fist, somebody else's Iron Fist. Really a master of doing this kind of like 2 or 3 tone coloring and inking. Just really great. The story here is wonderful. Hard to encapsulate, but give it a shot. Dystopian or utopian or some topian society split by a wall. No heavy metaphors there. The other side, nobody's sure what's on. We only see one side. We know that our side is very tech heavy and like totally into stimulation all the time. This one journalist wants to get a scoop, and her editor tells her she needs to go get a money making story first. So she does that, and then she's looking for a good scoop about a real story. She wants to go over to the other side. Turns out there's this guy that's been having a relationship with this woman, and we know, but the woman herself doesn't know, this guy is not a human. He's an alien, and they are supposedly killing all the people on this planet and stealing their seeds, their bees and their plants and all their seeds, to sell it to some intergalactic seed market or something like that. Not exactly sure. But that's basically, and our journalist is onto it. She sees a glimpse of the alien as he really is. Everybody wears gas masks because there's toxins in the air. So the woman who's actually having a relationship with a man doesn't see him without the mask and doesn't know he's an alien. I hope I did that justice. It sounds really weird, but dude, it's a freaking good book. Believe me. Heartbreak. I thought I knew who died yesterday when I looked at this. I accidentally opened it to the middle page, but because it kind of just opens that way. But the person who dies is not the person laying down to the middle page. Somebody else. I won't spoil it. They're taking a year break. But this was it. This is one of those issues of Saga where you're like, wow, I get it. I get why it's so good, man. Heart-wrenching, beautifully written, beautifully drawn, just phenomenal. If you aren't on Saga yet, get some trades, get it digitally, and hit that up to that issue. They're taking a year break, so good time to jump on. I thought this is fun. I've heard some differing opinions on this. This is the blank variant. I'm not going to chase all the variants or even the one where she's saying I'm drunk, though. All About Comics said that should be our theme from last night. Comics and Cold Ones, which I thought was pretty funny. But there you go. Picked it up. It was a fun read. I might read another one. I already had this. I don't know when my shop put another one. But anyway, they put this in my folder and I bought it without realizing. This is the Kid Joker, who's actually a pretty cool character. This is an alternative universe, so it's not in the DC universe yet. Hauser just writes the heck out of Mother Panic, though. She is a sick character in a sick outfit. I don't think she gets enough love. This is a pretty good issue. If you're on the fence about DC Young Animals, this is the one that I read. This is the one I would suggest to get if you're interested. This one came a little bent. It kind of ticks me off because I bought this second copy just to have two copies of the new Brawn and the new Ironheart. One copy is good. One copy is not good. If it ever becomes something, I can get it pressed. But as it is, it's a little disappointing it came like that. G. Willow Wilson is still writing really strong with Miss Marvel, just going along. Don't always love the artwork on this because they changed artists so much. This is Nico Leon, who's been on it for a while. Kind of finding his stride, her stride. I don't even know if it's a his or her. But you're doing experiments to figure out how Miss Marvel's power works and where does the mask get replaced when she embiggens and where does it come from, and some kind of techie stuff like that. And still the sort of love story, not love story going on between Bruno and Kamala is continuing. So it's a lot of fun. Still a big Miss Marvel fan, which you probably know if you read this. I don't know what the heck's going on with Exiles. It's a fun read. I got it to start off because there was an older Kamala Khan in it. And I love Saladin Ahmed's writing, but I could do without, I suppose. Who knows? Dude, this is going on how many minutes? Doesn't say. Oh, 12 minutes. It's going to be a long haul. I'll move this along. Paper Girls, still a great book. They're rebooting Archie now. It's Archie 1941, which seems kind of silly because maybe it's more like 2000 sensibilities in 1941, whereas they tend to be very straight-laced back then. This was a good ending. It wrapped up some storylines. Of course, it never wraps up this love triangle, which I guess is the point, to keep that going forever. Kind of felt abrupt because, the big stories were Betty's family accepting Archie after Archie was involved in the accident, in the drag racing accident or the game of chicken that put her in the wheelchair. They didn't really resolve that. Kind of just glossed it over a little bit. It was a great series. The first 5 issues are wonderful because what Mark Waid did was he took a section of a comic from like the 1940s, reprinted it with annotation, excuse me, didn't say it out loud, annotation. And that was really cool. Then it got into some good storylines and some okay storylines. Like I said, this last issue wrapped up the major storyline, but it still felt like there were unresolved things going on. Still love Mech Cadet U. I said this, good writing will always triumph. It's not an uncommon story, but it's extremely well written. So grab Mech Cadet, especially if you've got kids. My kids love it. I'm waiting for the second trade to come out. Really got to finish this up. I'm supposed to be in the gym in 15 minutes. Go rock climbing this morning. All right. Did not read Lumberjanes yet. Love Lumberjanes. Did not read Moonshine yet. There is a really sick variant to this where it's like the woman and her leg turns into the wolf leg. That's really cool. So there was like Squirrel Girl, Miss Marvel Alpha, Miss Marvel, Squirrel Girl Alpha. Now there's Marvel Rising, Miss Marvel, and Squirrel Girl #1. Not exactly sure how the numbering goes, but this is the one I was talking about that I read last night. It's actually really powerful. It's very much a kiddie type story. A lot of gamer references. If you're a gamer, you'll definitely like this. The whole thing is like inside a video game. It's kind of like a modern day Tron. But the quote bad girl is really this lonely girl who's being manipulated by an older creepy man on social media. But it's written with such heart and understanding by Wilson and Ryan North. that it really does justice to the whole thing, and it really shows how that manipulation can happen. And when you isolate someone and you put a little fear of them, put a little of isolation and threats, but also make it seem like you're the only one who understands them. They did a really nice job of that, and kudos to them for writing that storyline, which seems kind of I don't want to say played out. It seems like it's cliche, but they did a really nice job with it. Freaking beautiful. I stopped when Greg Rucka left. I'm going to pick it up again when G. Willow Wilson starts on issue 58, and I'm going to have to collect all the ones in between because I can't have an unfinished run. I haven't read the new one yet. Absolutely love Magdalene Visaggio and the work that she does, and I just realized this one's beat up back here. That's kind of upsetting me. Whatevs. Haven't read Magic Order yet. Can't wait. Haven't read Darth Vader Annual 2 yet. Have not read Darth Vader number 18 yet. Have not read Star Wars 51. Haven't read Star Wars 52. Left it at the shop. Pick it up next week. I did read this one. It was okay. Yeah, like nobody knows this is the where Spider-Gwen becomes Ghost Spider. Nobody's picked that up, right? That's like my only little secret between me and myself. Yeah, obviously everybody got that issue, but still, it's okay. Actually really like the wedding issue. Really like the twist at the end. Have not read 51 yet. Looks like he's a little upset. Have not read 52 yet. It's Batman versus Bruce Wayne. Moving along. Got the regular Catwoman cover. Got the Art Germ cover, and inside I got a blank sketch cover. Haven't read this one yet, but I'm really excited to see what Joelle Jones does as a writer on a major book. That was actually from Midtown Comics and is really annoyed. I ordered that. I ordered 2 copies of Batgirl 25. Batgirl 25 is not released yet. I know that. I was pre-ordering it, but I thought they would wait. So I'd get the 2 copies of Batgirl 25, and that comic would come, and the Catwoman's would come late. And you know what? It's not that. It's a different comic. Forget I said any of that. I ordered 2 copies of Batgirl 25 and some other comic. I can't even remember what. Yes, I can. And X-Men Second Genesis. This is one of the variant covers. This is a phenomenal book. I love the X-Men grand design that Ed Pisker's been doing. Anyway, this one came. I'm still waiting for the Batgirl 25s. That didn't really make it worth it because I got to pay 2 lots of shipping. I thought they would just hold this until the other ones are ready, but instead they split it up. They're like, this is your pre-order. It will come out when it comes out. This one's shipping now. So I paid double shipping. A little upset about that. Let's have some fun at half price books. Quarter buys. Howard the Duck Holiday Special. Wraparound cover with evil elves shooting at people. Sounds pretty good to me. Power Rangers. This looks kind of silly, but this is actually one of the variant covers to the re-release by Boom. I think they say what variant this is. Not the villain variant, Zord variant, action figure variant. I don't know. This is some special variant. This is the launch party kit variant. So pretty excited to have that. Has a little bit of tape pull there because that's what you get for 25 cents. Beavis. Beavis and Butthead. There's a Punisher appearance in here. Number 1. Cracked me up. 25 cents. Wanted to get this because I don't know if this is the first appearance of Kid Eternity, but I'm loving Eternity Girl by Magdalene Visaggio. So I thought I'd grab that. Was super excited to find this for 50 cents. Revival number 1. Revival number 2. Also for 50 cents was another copy of the Chew Revival crossover. I'm still waiting for Chew to be made into a TV show. I would love for that to happen. New 52 number 1, Batgirl. I got this because Gail Simone is the writer, and I love her stuff. Don't really know much about the New 52 Batgirl. Picked this up because everybody seems to have that cover and love that cover. Picked this up because it was 25 cents along with that Batgirl. It's a Swamp Thing #1 from the New 52, Scott Snyder, and Yannick Paquette, who's going to be at Rose City Comic Con. Yeah, I kind of tend to do this. Here we go. Infinity Entity, not a great book, not a book that's super popular the way Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War, even Infinity Prime is. But Jim Starlin, here's a variant #3, is the author, and he's going to be at Rose City Comic Con. Notice a pattern here? Hey, we're almost done. I can run to the gym in a minute. I like this cover. It looks cool. The book's worth nothing more than the 25 cents I paid for it. These are the Bloodshots I overpaid for. I have 6 and 7, so I just thought I'd start getting a little bit of the run. I can usually find them for like 50 cents or 25 cents. I paid like $2 each for these at that shop I was telling you about earlier, Tectonic Comics. I always thought that was kind of a cool cover, actually. So there you go. I actually think it's better than the 6 and 7 covers. Went down a little rabbit hole of Image, early Image. And like I said, if you were watching last night, you saw all these, but these are 25 cents each, and they kind of crack me up, and most of them are wraparound covers, and half of these are Rob Liefeld ripping it off himself, ripping off everything he did at Marvel, giving it different names. Small feet, big breasts, Rob Liefeld being Rob Liefeld. You gotta love the guy. Cable ripoffs, Hawkeye ripoffs, Wolverine ripoffs, Sabretooth ripoffs, mishmashes, Bishop, Cable. I mean, it's all there, and it all looks really cool, and it all looks very dated to the 1990s, early 1990s, and you've got to love Image for what they've done for comics and what they've done for creators. Then I found this very interesting one that I didn't know anything about. Deathblow and Wolverine. So actually, Wolverine in an Image comic, either somebody had some rights to continue with Wolverine, or this was when Marvel was hurting financially, and they sold rights for a bit so that Wolverine could be licensed in other comics. I don't honestly know, but that blew my mind. All right, we'll do that pack first. 2 piles left, and they're small. Grab these. So I give my seal of approval to Tu Mua. Shout out to Tu. Both these off of Instagram from him. I wanted this one because the inside artist on this, the interior, Jeff Parker, where is it, down here somewhere, will be at Rose City Comic Con. Plus, that's just a sick cover. As is that. Bought these from Tu, which is pretty cool. I never got this one. I got the Bruce Wayne looking the other direction in the second print, but never had this first print, so I was happy to get that. And then Tu threw this one in for free. Don't know much about Continuity Comics, except if you read online, it was panned as being a comic that just a company that never put out stuff on time or did really well. But this is Neil Adams artwork and not story, but Neil Adams artwork. It's pretty bad, and it's kind of like some of that early Image stuff. It's very 90s, but Samurai, the mistress of the martial arts. So that's kind of cool for him to throw a little extra in. Then the last thing I found is really awesome. I just bent number 16. Found all of these for 25 cents each. A series I didn't really know existed. Solo Avengers, Hawkeye and Mockingbird. Jim Lee on art on that. Number 2, Hawkeye and Captain Marvel. One of these has Jim Lee Weeks on art. Another one has Amanda Connor on art. There is Hawkeye and Moon Knight. Another one is Chris Claremont writing. Really cool series. All these B-list guys from early, not early, but Copper Age Marvel. Hawkeye and Black Knight. Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch. Hawkeye and Falcon. Red Skull as well. That's actually a really cool cover, the Red Skull there. Hawkeye and Black Widow. Hawkeye and Hellcat. Mad Dogs and Mystery Men. A lot of that alliteration in these series. Hawkeye and Dr. Druid. Want some more alliteration? Hawkeye and Hercules. Hawkeye versus Abomination and Yellow Jacket. Love this stuff. This is the era when I was reading comics, but this one just slipped my mind. Hawkeye and Wonder Man. Just some really cool stuff. Hawkeye and Black Widow again with She-Hulk and Titania. So each of these is split into two stories. The first is Hawkeye with the person, I think, and then the second is solo with that person's story. Hawkeye and the Wasp. And this was a character I'd forgotten that existed, but man, I always thought she looked cool. Bald head and big earrings. Hawkeye and Moondragon. And that's number 16 there. So yeah, really excited to get this. Never knew it existed. Those are all 8.0s, maybe some 7.0s because I just spent the cover of one. But really cool. A lot of fun. Interesting series. I'll be excited to read it, to be honest with you. Really, really down with reading that. And yeah, that's about that. So again, shout out to Poke G and All About Comics for having me on last night. I guess that was a good time because I've had 0 watchers in this live video, which is cool. I didn't want to interact so much as I'm too lazy to edit a video, and it's just easier going live. It's Friday, New Comic Book Day next Wednesday. So getting some stuff between now and then, going on vacation again. And then in 2 weeks' time, hopefully, knock wood,